Ooh. Oh. Everything's a little off. There's my mail. I do need to turn this a bit. There we go. Connor, hello. How are you? I'm just fixing up some stuff real quick. And then we're moving forward. Currently, I am live. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Have you guys ever heard of the SCP Foundation? Because if not, you are about to. Just bear with me for a second while we get this moving really quick. For some reason, my live streams are always strange, and I need to fix them after I go live. I think I'm only going to be doing once a day now. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing great. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. The SCP Foundation is scary, so I hope you guys are excited. Let me see. Let me edit this video really quick. I need to live stream. There we go. I have a thumbnail that I need to put up. So 1 second. I'm so glad you're streaming. I'm so thankful. Well, I'm glad that you're thankful. Hello. Give me 1 second to put on this scary thumbnail. Save those changes. I think I might be doing, I'm going to try for twice a day of the podcast. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to get twice a day for the podcast. You should react to fails. SCP. Yes, you guys know about SCP. 1 second. Give me a second. No, it's not okay. 1 second, guys. So what SCP stands for is Secure, Contain, and Protect. Shout out to you, Courtney. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. I'm not gonna lie. 1 second, guys. Almost ready. Okay. Ready now. Hey Aaron, can you please give me a shout out if Allison, who official 2008. Shout out to you, Allison. Okay. I sound dead. I'm in the spirit of it's like doing scary stuff, as you can hear my family in the background. What do you call it? This is gonna be every day. So be on the lookout for some SCP Foundation. Well, not SCP. Be on the lookout for the podcast every day if you want to be a part of it. I'm going to start having guests come and be a part of it too. I'm going to see if Corey wants to come and be on like one of like a Skype call or something like that, you know. Yo, Cece, thank you for the $5. Okay, so basically what the SCP Foundation is it's called the Secure, Contain, and Protect, or like the Secure Containment Protocol, I believe. It's basically a bunch of paranormal and non-explainable things and stuff in society that can't really be explained. There's a whole wiki about it called scpwiki.com where you can go and read every single one of them. They have every single series and every single Tales by series. Shia, thank you for the $5, and Cece, thank you for the $5 again. Will I be able to replay this? I'm making food. Yes, you will, Cece. This is going to be live, and then after the live, it's going to be up on the channel, so you can go check it out there. Guys, before we get into the channel, my link is down in the description. I have like a whole clothing brand. Before we get into the channel, before we get into the video, I have a whole clothing brand that I do now. So if you guys want to be a part of that or support it, please feel free to go into the link in my description and check it out for yourself. My sister is terrified of SCP stuff, but not gonna lie, I love it. Well, I hope you love this one then. So this is called SCP-49. This one's one of the top rated like SCPs. Jeff, you're not late. You're perfectly on time. What do you call it? But this one's one of the like the top rated SCPs with some of the scariest, I guess, you know. And yeah, we're gonna get into this. Remy, hello. Aaron, do you know how to make me mod? I do know. I think I know how to. I just don't know how to right off the bat right now. Give me like. I'll figure it out in a bit. I think it's on YouTube. But anyways, let me read this story to you guys. I'm gonna get started into that. Give me like 10 seconds to tweet this really quick, and then we're gonna go. All right, 10 seconds, guys. And if it's more than 10 seconds, I'm sorry, because it probably will be more than 10 seconds. Let's see. There we go. What do you call it? There we go. Almost ready. Remy, thank you for the 149. You're freaking awesome. Let's see. Long click this. 1, 2, sleep. Will it let me paste? There we go. All right. All right. Perfect. Should be set now. Okay. Let's do this. Yo, who just sent that? TY for streaming. This will get me out of a funk. Dude, Samantha, thank you. Okay, guys, here we go. So this is SCP-49. Let's see. There we go. SCP-49. SCP-49 is contained within a standard secure humanoid containment cell in Research Sector 2 at Site 19. SCP-49 must be sedated before any attempts to transport it. During transport, SCP-49 must be secured within a Class 3 humanoid restriction harness, including a locking collar and extension restraints, and monitored by no fewer than 2 armed guards. While SCP-49 is generally cooperative with most Foundation personnel, outbursts or sudden changes in behavior are to be met with elevated force. Under no circumstances should any personnel come into direct contact with SCP-49 during these outbursts. In the event SCP-49 becomes aggressive, the application of lavender, L. multifida, has been shown to produce a calming effect on the entity. Once calmed, SCP-49 generally becomes compliant and will return to containment with little resistance. In order to facilitate the ongoing containment of SCP-49, the entity is to be provided with the corpse of a recently deceased animal, typically a bovine or other large mammal, once every 2 weeks for study. Corpses that become instances of SCP-49-2 are to be removed from SCP-49's containment cell and incinerated. SCP-49 is no longer permitted to interact with human subjects, and requests for human subjects are to be denied. So this is the description. That was the containment procedure of SCP-49. This is the description, though. SCP-49 is a humanoid entity roughly 1.9 meters in height, which bears the appearance of a medieval plague doctor. While SCP-49 appears to be wearing the thick robes and the ceramic mask indicative of that profession, the garments instead seem to have grown out of SCP-49's body over time, and are now nearly indistinguishable from whatever form is beneath them. X-rays indicate that despite this, SCP-49 does have a humanoid skeletal structure beneath its outer layer. SCP-49 is capable of speech in a variety of languages, though it tends to prefer English or medieval French. While SCP-49 is generally cordial and cooperative with Foundation staff, it can become especially irritated or at times outright aggressive if it feels that it is in the presence of what it calls the pestilence. Although the exact nature of this pestilence is currently unknown to Foundation researchers, it does seem to be an issue of immense concern to SCP-49. SCP-49 will become hostile with individuals it sees as being affected by the pestilence, often having to be restrained should it encounter such. If left unchecked, SCP-49 will generally attempt to kill any such individual. SCP-49 is capable of causing all biological functions of an organism to cease through direct skin contact. How this occurs is currently unknown, and autopsies of SCP-49's victims have invariably been inconclusive. SCP-49 has expressed frustration or remorse after these killings, indicating that they have done little to kill the pestilence, though will usually seek to then perform a crude surgery on the corpse, using the implements contained within a black doctor's bag it carries on his person at all times. While these surgeries are not always successful, they often result in the creation of instances of SCP-49-2. SCP-49-2 instances are reanimated corpses that have been operated on by SCP-49. These instances do not seem to retain any of their prior memories or mental functions, having only basic motor skills and response mechanisms. While these instances are generally inactive, moving very little and in a generally ambulatory fashion, they can become extremely aggressive if provoked, or if directed to by SCP-49. SCP-49-2 instances express active biological functions, though these are vastly different from currently understood human physiology. Despite these alterations, SCP-49 often remarks that the subjects have been cured. Ooh. Okay. That is the that is the what do you call it? That is the what am I trying to say? That's the description. I can read you guys a tale. Millie, what are you doing? Let's see. I remember now a long time ago I was going to write a story based on this. SCP-49 was going to be one of the main antagonist characters. This takes me back. Yeah. Here, give me like 10 seconds, guys. 1 second. Let me see. Sorry, it's kind of loud out there because of Familia. Let me see. Sorry, this is definitely ruins the mood of scary, because of definitely ruins the mood of scary because there's a crying baby in the background, so it's not great. Pretty funny though. Let's see. I need to go to my channel. Aaron, I want to meet you so bad. One day, Trinity, one day. SCP-2317 is scary. We'll check that out too. We got time. Let me see. Let's see, there we go. Crying babies are creepy too. I mean, they are pretty creepy. Came in at the right time, right? see. Let's see if this is working. Please, Aaron, do something about the spamming. Yeah, hold on. How much do you know about SCPs? I don't know much. I've seen like some pretty. I've heard of some pretty scary ones though. That I'm like, oh man. About, you know. Okay, let's see. Sorry, I'm fixing this up really quick for you guys. I'm trying to go to my let me see. Here you go. What the heck was that? What the poop was that? Goodness gracious. Did you guys hear that? What the heck? I guess it was just doors shutting on the outside. Wow. Okay, Shia, I'm making you a mod. You are a moderator now, Shia. There you go. Alright. Let's go over the tales of SCP-49. This one's gonna be fun. So SCP-49 tales. Let's go to an explosive shout cracks the empty sky. Are you guys ready? Okay. What do you got? Are you guys ready for SCP-49? I'm gonna do SCP. I can do SCP-173 after Xavier, if you want. But this is an explosive shout cracks the great empty sky. Lightning briefly illuminated the night, creating a snapshot of the scene in the doctor's eyes. Hide huts, teepees, she had heard them called, stood on the great plain. No fires burned. The cloying stench of dead flesh hung in the air. She recognized it all too well. Lightning crashed again as she pushed her away into the nearest yurt. Another snapshot, this one of hell. The boy knelt beside the bodies of his parents. He had turned to look at her as she opened the tent flap. 10, 11, at the oldest. He was contorted with grief and confusion, tears pouring from his eyes. His face was smeared with crude war paint, a childish reaction of his father's powerful symbols. A red arrowhead pointing upward covered his face, flanked by a pair, each of green circles above and black circles below his eyes. The symbolism was lost on her. For the first time in her miserable life, however, it seemed she was in luck. Their breasts were ragged and labored, but most importantly, they were still being drawn. They could yet be saved, if she worked quickly enough. Perhaps this entire tribe might yet. One thing at a time. The boy clutched a wickedly sharp stone knife. She remained still, studying him. She knew only a few words in a language another tribe had taught her. She spoke them. I am a healer. I know this sickness. I can cure it. She hoped he understood. There was no further time to hesitate. She walked to the dying pair and knelt down, resting her black bag on the ground. The boy dropped the knife, watched unmoving from his knees as she ministered to his dying parents. It was then that she heard it, the distant retort of a rifle. She felt her heart fall into the acids of her stomach. Never lucky. She stole a glance at the boy whose trembling froze at her gaze. Quickly she moved to the far hide wall, sliding a steel scalpel from her surgical bag and using it to slice a thin vertical slit through which she peered. Lightning turned night to day. Smoke. Soldiers. Ooh, T-Bird, thank you for the $5. Smoke. Soldiers. They had come upon the other side of the village. They pulled the sick from their homes, burned the teepees, and shot anyone who tried to resist her mind. Her mind shrieked in rage. If only she had more time. Delaney, thank you for the $10. Of course I remember you, Delaney. You gift on TikTok. My username was, yeah, of course I remember you. Yeah. It made no difference now. Even if she cured them, she knew the soldiers would never let them escape. She shuddered as her gaze fell over the 3 people in the room with her. The boy displayed no symptoms. She would save at least one life tonight. She knelt by the heads of his parents and reached out to touch the boy's face. She felt his eyelids close beneath her gloved hand and turned his head to the side. Then she turned her attention back to the boy's parents. She would offer them the scant mercy she could. Crack. Snap. Wordlessly, she settled their now still heads to the ground. Silently, she grabbed the boy's hand and pulled him out of his home, away from his parents with their twisted, broken necks, away from his burning, dying village, away to the relative safety of the vast open plain. By dawn, she was alone. He had run from her the first chance he got. She couldn't blame him. Could only imagine what kind of grim specter he must think she was. I need to turn off that alert box. Thank you, Delaney. She awoke covered in cold sweat, the same dream, the same memory that found her every night these past few weeks. Specks of dust danced in the shafts of sunlight streaming through the wooden window shutters. Judging by their angle, it was nearly noon. She pulled herself from the warm bed, letting the rough, scratchy blanket fall from her. She stretched, bringing her hand to soothe an itch on the scarred skin of her face. She stood for a short time. Michael, thank you for the $5. She stood for a short time, letting the late morning air wash against her bare skin, pondering her situation. The sounds of the town streamed through the second floor window, the clatter of hooves, the chatter of townsfolk, the distant whistle of an arriving train. She crossed the small room to the wooden end table, pulling a folded telegram from within her black bag. Another outbreak of rotting disease. Stop. Whole mining town dead with broken necks. Stop. No suspects and town has been abandoned. Stop. Sent from a town called Virginia City, Nevada. This town, she'd been here only a day and was already sick of the place. Most of the people that lived here were crude and stupid. The few that weren't were too clever for their own good. She pulled her aquiline porcelain face from the end table and put it on, thankful for the smell of lavender as it muted the stench of the frontier town. Her hand pulled her black leather robes from the back of the wooden chair she'd laid it on the night before. Pulling it on, her gaze fell once more over the small room she'd rented. She hoped it would be the last time. Downstairs, the parlor was in full swing. A pianist played, women danced, and poker was dealt. She had never been in a saloon she liked, but she needed a fresh lead, needed to find this mining town. Looking around the room, she saw something like a scene out of a painting. A dog sat with 4 men at a round table who were drinking whiskey and playing cards. All but one turned to watch as the black-robed stranger sat among them. Her gaze went to the one that didn't turn, who quietly wore a sly smile, his eyes hidden behind jet-black round-rimmed sunglasses. He idly played with the 2 cards pinned between his finger and the table. The rest of the dogs, and there was no mistaking it, they were all dogs. Even if only one walked on all 4s, watched her intently. She saw the men's mustaches twitch, the golden retriever's head tilt inquisitively. We don't need no grave diggers following up our luck here, miss. An overstuffed man pulled a cigar free from beneath his gray walrus mustache and wrinkled his nose at her. Why don't you just get up out of here, you hear? The man wearing sunglasses leaned forward, cleared his throat. No gravedigger. A surgeon, by the sound of it. His voice was soft, but clear. The dog licked his hand, the other men turning to give him puzzled looks. He gave a wily grin. $5, says the cards agree. They grumbled, and a harumph or two was formally lodged, but in the end $20 more were laid out on the table. The bespectacled man's smile never faltered. He pulled the top card of the deck, tossing it aside while face down. The next card was flipped. Ace of diamonds, another burn. 3 of spades, burn. Ace of clubs. One by one, the men turned up their hands. Jack, queen offsuit, pocket deuces. The third smiled, his teeth rolling, his cigar around his mouth, and revealed an ace, king high. He moved to pull the pile of bills towards himself until the man with sunglasses turned his hand up. Ace 3. Air hissed through teeth. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but a full house beats a pair, doesn't it? Wait, just 1 minute here. Just how did you know what was in your hand without us telling you this time, stranger? The gray mustache challenged him, a beefy hand slamming down onto the wooden table to punctuate his question. Well, why else would you gentlemen have reacted with surprise? The man pulled his dark sunglasses from his face, breathing on the lenses before taking a white cloth to them. His milky white orbs stared out, unseeing. Among the other 3 men, a grumbling was brewing. Besides, you boys don't seem the type to get upset by a little lost pocket change, especially. He raised his voice, waving a $5 bill at the bartender, when it's used to buy 3 bottles of whiskey for these fine gentlemen. Their grumbles turned into a ragged cheer as the men rose to go collect their consolation prize. The cigar smoker's meaty paw clapped the scrawny, black-suited man on his back, nearly knocking the neat bowler hat from his head. The dealer laughed and adjusted his spectacles and hat back into their proper place, pressing the banknote into the portly older man's calloused hand. He collected the deck back together with a wide sweep of his arm. Rifling the cards together to shuffle them, the dog laid its chin on the man's wrist after several long seconds of shuffling, its big brown eyes studying the woman. Game of cards? He offered her finally. Thank you. No, I don't leave things to chance. She sat her neat black bag on the table. You are more capable than you let on. You heard the tools in my bag and inferred my line of work. He opened his mouth to reply, but her gloved finger rose up to halt him. You discern the nature of my tools just by hearing my movement. You must hear all sorts of things. His eyebrows arched. His dog jumped down from its chair to frantically chew its own. He pretended not to notice. Might do. He let the deck rest on the table, gathering his winnings and slowly straightening the bills, running his fingers over them. Might do. What's on your mind, miss? I'm looking for a town, mining town, not far from here. She pulled a $10 bill from her black bag, placing it on the table and sliding it to him. There's been an epidemic, and I need to make sure it doesn't spread. Ooh, that sounds new. Well, then we have on our hands a rather fortuitous coincidence. I have been waiting on my employers to send an escort, but seeing as we have the same destination, and he patted his breast pocket, have the directions, maybe we both can make better time than expected. His smile spread to his eyes. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Crow, and the shining example of canine dignity is pathos. She offered a polite laugh, depositing her money on the middle of the table. He shook his head. No need for all that, miss. I prefer to let the cards decide, and I'm just sure you're in luck. He dealt 1 card to each of them in sequence until each held a hand of 5. Setting aside the deck, he flipped his hand over with his forefinger. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 of diamonds. He gave her his best approximation of a meek shrug. She eyed him curiously, turning over the card she'd been offered. Royal flush. Hearts. I don't leave anything to chance either, miss. I'm going to leave it there. So, that's going to... I'm dumb. So that's going to be, first of all, thank you, Delaney, for the $20. Holy cow. That's nuts. Thank you, guys. I'm going to hop off of here, though, and that's going to be it for this one. There's more to this story, and we'll continue it if you guys like in a later podcast. So Aaron should do guided meditations. His voice is silky smooth. That's my plan. I got a silky smooth talking voice. Perfect. Beautiful. Wonderful. So I'm what do you call it? Delaney, you're freaking awesome. I'm gonna go get on what's up, Shia? I'm gonna go get on TikTok live. Did you look up Swami? Yes, I've looked him up, Turth. Yes, I'm going live on TikTok. I'm gonna take like a 5-minute break and then go live on TikTok for a bit. So Instagram or Twitter, that kind of, it's only social media, but I want to support you and send you a message with warm words. Lexi, you can if you can go to my Instagram, it has my like business email on there. You can message me there if you want. Glad to be here. This was fun. Really took me back. Have a good afternoon. I might not be on tonight for another podcast, but look for it because I may be. Who knows? We'll see. I will be on TikTok, however, so I'll be on TikTok live tonight and in like 5 minutes. So if you guys want to go check me out there, you can. Tell your friends about this video. And I think that's going to be it. Guys, don't forget scribbles.com. You can get some clothing if you want to support me or the podcast. Please do. And TikTok's banned in India. I'm sorry. And what do you call it? And yeah, this was the SCP Foundation. I hope you guys enjoyed. And I'm gonna catch you guys later. Bye, guys.